Hi guys, I'm so excited for today's video. I'm going to be trying out a brand that I've been waiting to try for so long, and that is Ace Beaute. Is that how you say it? Can someone finalize how to say that name? Is it Ace Beauty or Ace Booty or Ace Beaute? I really don't know. I'm going to keep calling them Ace Beaute because I don't know what else to call them. So this is their Oceanic palette. There's going to be so many mispronunciations in this video. Is it Oceanic or Oceanic? I feel like ocean, so it should be Oceanic, right? I don't know. This is what happens when English is not your first language sometimes. It's just hard, you know? Words are hard. I'm gonna open this up. I thought I would show you the sleeve first because all of the ingredients are on the back, but then the front of the sleeve is the same as the front of the palette. I have already opened this, so I have taken the sleeve out of it, but this is what the palette itself looks like. And this is what the color story is. Oh, it is just so beautiful. I feel like I've played so much with green and blue lately and I'm still not sick of it. I love that color combination so much, and I feel like there are so many unique tones in this palette. Like this shadow right here, need that on my eyes like ASAP because that is so beautiful. I'm definitely going to be using that today. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I do want to swatch this though, so I think we're just gonna get into these swatches. If you want to know more information about the brand and the palette in general, I will leave a link down below in the description box. Like I've said before, I don't really go into a lot of details in my first impressions because what I care about is the performance of the palette, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to know more information about this, the link will be down in the description box. So let's go ahead and swatch this. Gonna swatch this way that I always do it, just going from left to right, top to bottom, and then we can talk about the swatches when I'm done. Alright, so thoughts on these swatches. My first impression when I first dipped my fingers into the shimmer shadows was that, oh god, this is going to be really dry. But then when I swatched it, look at this. Like, that is so beautiful and so reflective and not at all what I expected. Usually when I see shadows like that, I think that they're going to be really, really creamy and kind of feel a bit like oily. But these ones felt really dry, but when you swatch them out, they're so beautiful. So I was not expecting that at all. The mattes felt a little bit dry, some of them felt dry, but they swatched beautifully. The only shadow that I really had to build up was this kind of lavender one. All of the other ones, even the super bright green ones, swatched like a dream. So I'm so excited to dig into this. It's such a beautiful palette. It's one of the most beautiful palettes that I think I've seen in a very long time. And I feel like the color story is just so cohesive and there are so many unique shadows in this. So we're gonna just go ahead and prime my eyes because I need this on my eyes as soon as possible. So I'm gonna use my MAC paint pot and soft ochre like I always do. You know what I want to do though first before we do anything else? I kind of want to wipe away the swatches and see if any of these stain because my fingers were kind of blue after doing this. So let's just go ahead and see if there's any staining left here. Alright, so it doesn't really look like it, so that's good because I tend to have issues with blue staining a lot, so hopefully these won't stain too bad. Not that I really care about staining, but I know some people do, so thought I would just kind of test it out, but I think they should be okay and not stain too badly. So I'm gonna prime and then we'll get into doing a look with this. So I think today is going to be a halo eye kind of day because I want to try this algae shade and I want to just put that in my whole crease, and then I'll probably go ahead and deepen that up with, not really sure, I'm kind of feeling like this dark teal up here, but let's just go ahead and test this out first. So I'm just going to take this on a fluffy brush and basically just put this in my crease. So there's a little bit of kick up in the pan, but nothing too crazy, so I'm basically just going to pack this into my crease now. I'm going to pull the shadow up pretty high because I want the shadow to really show when my eyes are open, and that is actually a beautiful shadow. I just hope that it's going to keep its vibrancy once I'm done with the look and once I've started blending in other colors on top of this, but so far this is laying down beautifully. And now that I've kind of placed this down, I mean, it's looking nice and blended, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go back and forth a little bit here just on top. I'm going to try not to blend too much. But it does seem like the shadow is like sticking on my lid. I'm not having any problems with it like lifting off when I go in and blend, which tends to happen a lot with like super bright shadows. So far I'm really impressed with this, and I feel like this shadow is going to look so good on top of a cut crease or something like that. So far I love this shadow. I think this is absolutely stunning. So I think I'm going to do like I said, and I'm going to take Pacific, which is this dark teal, and I'm going to try to deepen up the inner and outer part of my lid here and, you know, create the halo. So I'm going to take my Morphe E36 brush, which is just a very, very small kind of fluffy brush. I'm just going to be placing that first on the outer part here and then on the inner part after. And we're going to see how this layers on top of that other green. I've heard some people say that Ace Beaute's formula is a little bit hard to layer and blend into other shadows, but we're going to try this and find out. And I can definitely see that because already it's looking a little bit patchy out here, which, you know, it's not ideal. It can be fixed though by going in with some kind of a shimmer on top. But I'm going to try to work with this and see if I can make this opaque. So I mean, I hope you can see what I see, and I definitely see a bit of a bald spot just like right here on my lid, and I'm not really able to layer on top of that, which is kind of what I was concerned about when I was planning to use the shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of try to do as good as I can, doing it in my inner corner as well as the other eye, and then we'll see if I need to maybe layer some of the shimmers on top of this. I'm probably gonna have to do that, but let me just do this first and see how it looks in the end. So I didn't really have any problems on this side here. Whoa, just dropped my brush. This side looks fine and it blended out nicely, and it seems to be pretty opaque on the lid as well. So I don't know why I was having a bit of a harder time on this side. Yeah, I don't really know. So I'm not going to judge this shadow as of right now because this is obviously just a first impression. So this is for sure a palette that I'm going to do a Three Looks One palette with though. I don't know exactly when that is going to happen, but I'll for sure make sure to do that because I really want to play with this and like make sure that I know the formula of this palette, because I feel like this is one that might be a little bit tricky to get right. So I want to make sure that if you guys were wondering about this palette, that I actually have like a pretty solid opinion on what this palette is about. So I think for the middle of my lid, I'm going to go into, see, this is tough. I kind of want to do a blue. So maybe I'll go into Bora Bora, and I'm going to pop that right in the middle of my halo. So it does pick up very nicely on a brush. It's definitely coating my brush. It's a little bit crumbly, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and spray this if I can find my Fix Plus, because I can never find anything. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this, and then we're going to pop this in the middle of my lid. And that is a beautiful shadow. Oh, that is really, really pretty. And I'm keeping this mainly like right in the middle part where I didn't have any shadow yet. I am going to go ahead and just kind of blend it outwards as well, but I don't want this to be all over my lid. I want it pretty focused just right in the middle. So just to kind of tie this all together, I'm going to dip into a bit more of that first green that I used and just run this through my crease again and make sure that I bring back this color, because I do really want this color to show up. And I can also make sure that everything is looking nice and blended as well. And so far, I mean, the shadows are performing really well, except for that little bit of a trouble I had right in the outer corner here. I don't even know if you can really see it on camera. I can see it when I look up close, but I don't think anybody else would really notice, you know, like in real life. If someone saw me, I don't think they would ever say that my eyeshadow looks patchy, because it's not very obvious, but, you know, I can see it, so I thought I would just mention it still. And the mattes are blending out into each other really, really nicely. So far, I really like how this is looking. So I don't know exactly what I want to do on my lower lash line though. I was kind of thinking, why do I feel like my halos are not even? I'm gonna take a little bit more of that blue and just bring this a little bit higher up here. Okay, we're gonna call this good. So for my lower lash line, what do I want to do? I kind of want to just blow out some of these blues so we can test out a couple more of these. So I think what I'm going to start with is I'm going to take Blue Clam, and then I'm going to pack that closest to my lower lash line, and then after I'm going to go into Fiji, which is this kind of, what do I call this? It's almost like a light teal. It's not like a turquoise, but it's almost like a tealy turquoise. So I'm first going to go in with this and pack that closest to my lower lash line, and then I'm going to blend it out after with Fiji. Okay, I gotta say, I'm so impressed by that blue shadow, even though I only used it on my lower lash line, but a lot of the time dark blues have a tough time like sticking to my under eye, but this one built up so beautifully and it really sticks to my eye as well, which is great. So I am gonna change my mind. I was gonna go into Fiji and use that to blend out with, but I think I'm actually gonna go into Bali instead, and I love that I can pronounce all of the names in this palette. It's so nice when palettes don't have like very fancy names that I've never heard of, but like Fiji, I can do Fiji, you know? So I'm gonna dip into that with a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna use this to blend out that blue. So I'm not surprised I'm having a bit of a hard time getting this to show up, because this was the shadow that swatched the worst. And it's probably not the kind of shadow that I think is going to be ideal to use on your lower lash line, especially like this. So I mean, I don't love this shadow, but I feel like this is not the best use for this. I feel like this shadow needs to be used either as a first shade, as a transition shade, or just put on top of something that is tacky. So it's definitely going to perform a lot better on top of a unset primer. And I mean, that's just the nature of like pastels in general. So I mean, it worked, it's fine. I don't think it's great the way that I used it, but I don't think that is the most ideal way to use that shadow anyway. So, I mean, I think it's fine. I do have a little bit of fallout, so I'm gonna go ahead and just try to get rid of that. And so far, that was very easy. All right, so no issues there really at all. And I think this look is beautiful. I do feel like something is missing in my inner corner though, and I don't really feel like I have anything in this palette that is light enough to go there. So I'm gonna find something else to put in my inner corner. So I think what I want to use is I want to use this green highlighter. This is from Cosmic Turtle Cosmetics. I've never tried this before. This is in the shade Succulent. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this just in my inner corner. I'm not sure if you can see like the shift on this, but it's definitely like a green highlighter. So let's see how this works. Just gonna use a little bit of this. Wow, that's, I said I was gonna use a little bit, but I might have to use a little bit more than just a little bit. In general, I don't like to go crazy with my inner corner highlight when I'm doing a halo eye, because I want most of the focus to be in the middle of my eye. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of this on this side, and I'm gonna try to kind of mute this down a little bit. So I definitely did not have to spray this. I mean, this is intense. So I'm gonna wipe off my brush and then just try to kind of blend this out a bit. Okay, so that is actually really, really beautiful. I'm glad I tried that, because I'm not really one to wear green highlighters on my face, but I usually wear those kind of highlighters like in my inner corner. But sometimes if I have them as singles, I just kind of forget about them, but that worked beautifully. So I'm gonna pop something in my waterline. I'm gonna actually use something new, I think, because I got some of the faux white liners from NYX yesterday, and I have 3 of them here, and I feel like all of these would look really nice. I think I'm gonna use the Seafoam one. What is this one called? Honeydew? Maybe that's the one I'll use. I could also go with, you know what, I could use all of these, but I think I'm gonna use Honeydew just because I haven't really tried this, and this is almost like a kind of pastel-y green, but like almost kind of on the yellow side. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's definitely like more on the white side though, because it's called faux white, but these liners are so good. So let me just go ahead and pop this in here real quick. So it looks like it's a little bit on the blue side just because I have blue on my lower lash line, and I feel like it's kind of interfering with the liner color here. Okay, so now that I've layered it, I definitely see more of the green kind of coming through. That is a beautiful liner. That is such a unique color. Alright, sorry, so my camera died and I decided to just finish up with my eye, so I put on some liner and mascara, and for lips I used one of my Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks, and this is in the shade You Better Work, and I thought this would look kind of cool with this look. I don't really use this very often, mostly because I haven't had it for very long, but I love a purple like this. I think it looks so pretty, so I really like how it looks together, and I like the completed look. The only thing that I can really say about this palette, if I can find it, is that this kind of greeny tealy matte was a bit of a pain to work with. I mean, I don't think you can really see it well close up, like that it is patchy, but I can definitely see it missing a little bit of pigment just out here. But for the most part, I mean, all of the shadows performed really, really well, and I gotta say I'm not really surprised that that shadow didn't perform that good, because I don't think I have a shade like that is actually like really good. So I mean, all of the other shadows were beautiful and I love the completed look, and I'm happy that I finally was able to try out Ace, because I've been wanting to try out the brand for so long, and I'm so excited to play more with this palette, and I hope that you guys want me to do more with this palette as well, because this is a palette that really inspires me. I think the color story in this is so beautiful. One thing I liked about this is that you can do a lot of like monochromatic looks, and monochromatic looks is one of my favorite things to do. It's literally so easy. Just put a color in the crease, a shimmer on the lid, and something in the inner corner. And I see so many possibilities using this palette to do monochromatic looks with. So I'm really excited that I bought this. I'm really excited to play more with it. So far, I can't really tell you like my opinion on the palette, because I've only tried out like 4 of the mattes. And yeah, I mean, I like it so far, and that's really all I can say. So just keep an eye out for my 3 looks 1 palette and my review with this, and I will, you know, let you know my thoughts about this and how I really feel. But so far, I like it. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on this. I've not watched any other reviews on this, because I don't want to sway my opinions on anything that I try before I've had a chance to try it. So yeah, that's basically going to be it. So if you like this video, you might consider some of the other videos that are popping up on the screen right now. And if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you all in my next one. Bye.